Dear learners, in this presentation, that is lecture 5, I am going to discuss about the time response analysis of first order system. The learning objectives of this presentation are to justify the use of standard test signals in time domain analysis and to analyze the time response of first order LTIV systems. Introduction. We have already done the mathematical modeling in the design and analysis of systems. That is the first step. Mathematical modeling is nothing but describing the dynamic behavior of the system in terms of differential equation. Just with differential equation we cannot do anything. We have to solve. So the next step is to study the response or solve the differential equation by subjecting the system to inputs. This solution is nothing but time response. That is, solving the differential equations describing the dynamic behavior or solving the mathematical model of the system is time response. Or it is the output C of t, that is finding controlled output C of t of the system as a function of time. The time response can be classified into transient response and steady state response. Transient response is nothing but it is the response of the system when the input changes from one state to another. Generally, transient response is the response due to the presence of the energy storing elements. So in any physical system there will be energy storing elements. They only cause the transient response. We can also define the transient response as the response till the transients completely die out or till the response becomes steady. The response of the system that remains once the transients completely die out, that is after the transients completely die out, is called the steady state response. So it is a response, that is C of t as t tends to infinity. Next, let us discuss why standard test signals are required for time response analysis. The position of the target to be tracked in an application like radar for tracking anti-aircraft missiles, so it varies randomly with respect to time, because we have to attack the rival camp. So the rival camp, they will move once they find that they are attacked by the enemies. So position of the target to be tracked varies randomly. So you cannot fix the input in such case because the input or the position varies unpredictable manner. In few systems the input also not known well in advance. So response of such systems cannot be evaluated properly. So to analyze the behavior of such systems, some standard test signals are required for analyzing the performance. When we analyze the performance of the system based on the standard test signals, it gives an opportunity for us to understand the behavior of the system. Further, we can compare the behavior of different systems on a common basis. On a common platform we can compare. The test signals generated easily in laboratories. We can easily generate the test signals in laboratories. And these characteristics, that is the characteristics of these test signals, they resemble that of the actual input signals. Therefore, the test signals can be used in the place of the actual input signals, and based on the test signals we can predetermine the performance of the systems, or we can predict the performance of the systems. So if the response of the system is satisfactory for a test signal, for example for a test signal it is satisfactory, then the system will be suitable for practical applications. So we can use the system for practical applications. So what are the standard test signals? So number one, impulse signal. So impulse signal is actually characterized by a sudden shock. Generally shock, it will be of a very high magnitude. The moment we get shock, we try to go away from the shock. So it has got very high magnitude at t is equal to 0 and decays to 0 immediately. In practice, we cannot achieve a perfect impulse. Therefore, we have to have a pulse of unit area. Here we can find this is A, this is 1 by A rectangle. So area is A into 1 by A is 1. That is what given as pulse of small width but unit area. So mathematically it can be written as delta of t equal to 0 when t not equal to 0. So when t not equal to 0, the value of the input delta of t is 0 and it is 1 only for a small interval. Minus epsilon to epsilon integral delta of t dt equal to 1. This is theoretically delta of 0 is equal to 1. So Laplace transform of impulse gives 1. That is what I said. So delta of 0 is 1. Only at t equal to 0 it occurs. So therefore Laplace transform of that is, what is Laplace transform? Integral 0 to infinity f of t e power minus st dt. So f of t, that is delta of t, occurs only at t equal to 0. Therefore the integration becomes simply a pointing function. So Laplace transform of impulse is 1. So when we do the transfer function of linear time invariant system, C of s by R of s in this case is 1. Therefore C of s is simply, that is C of s by R of s equal to transfer function. Therefore R of s is 1. Therefore C of s is simply the transfer function. Therefore transfer function is the impulse response, that is G of s. So this impulse signal is also called the weighting signal because based on the value of the impulse input you get G of s. G of s is C of s. Next, step signal. It has got no magnitude when t equal to 0. So here we can find after t equal to 0 it becomes equal to A. That means it jumps from 0 to A. So once it attains A at t equal to 0, it remains at that value. If A becomes equal to 1, we call it unit step signal. So mathematically R of t can be written as A into U of t. A is the step magnitude. What is U of t? Unit step. Equal to 1 when t greater than or equal to 0. Equal to 0 when t less than 0. So if we take Laplace transform of this R of t, it will be equal to 1 by s. Whereas Laplace transform of impulse is unity. So next comes the ramp signal. So ramp signal is actually characterized by a straight line relation. So magnitude changes linearly with respect to time. Therefore R of t equal to A into t. So it is very much similar to y is equal to mx. Role of m is being played by A, x is being played by t. And it equal to 0 when t less than 0. Parabolic signal, it is actually, parabolic signal varies in a quadratic manner with respect to the time. So R of t is A into t square by 2 when t greater than or equal to 0, equal to 0, t less than 0. So the purpose of putting 2 is when we take Laplace transformation, this A t square by 2 will become A by s cube. This Laplace transform of ramp will be A by s square. Sinusoidal signal. So sinusoidal signal, the magnitude changes continuously with respect to time. So it will have positive as well as negative values. So the peak in the positive is represented by A and negative peak is represented by minus A. So mathematically R of t is equal to A into sin omega t. Let us discuss the step response of first order system. A first order system block diagram is represented by this. So we have a summing point, and then g of s, that is the open loop transfer function, is your 1 by ts. So 1 by ts, since it has got polar origin, it is first order system, it is a unity feedback. So the closed loop transfer function, if we find out using that g of s by 1 plus g of s rule, then we will get this 1 by ts plus 1 as c of s by r of s. For unit step input, r of s is 1 by s. Therefore, if we substitute this r of s in this c of s expression, c of s is 1 by s into ts plus 1. So if we take the Laplace transform of this, c of s will be equal to 1 by s minus 1 by ts plus 1. To bring this 1 by ts plus 1 into standard form, t in the denominator is taken outside. Therefore, it will become t into s plus 1 by t. So, since we have taken t, it will be t cancelling. Therefore, finally it will be c of t when we take the inverse Laplace transformation. It is 1 minus e to the power of minus t by t. So t cancel each other. So 1 minus e to the power of minus t by t. So you have an exponential term here. So the step response is exponentially growing with respect to the time, but output follows the input, and finally output becomes equal to the unit step input, that is 1. So steady state response is 1, that is what said. Here there is only one pole at origin. Whenever there is only one pole at origin, we say it is a type 1 system. So it is a type 1 first order system. So we will discuss about the type when we see the error. So type 1 first order system subjected to unit step input tracks the input in 0 steady state error, because finally this output is going to reach this 1. Therefore, there won't be any deviation between the steady state output and the input. When small t equal to capital T, that is when we substitute t is equal to capital T in this c of t expression, the t cancels, so 1 minus e to the power of minus 1, which will be 0.632. Therefore, when small t becomes equal to capital T, the output becomes 0.632 or 63.2% of 1. Therefore, whatever time that the response takes to reach 63.2% of final value is called the time constant. So, time constant actually indicative of how fast the system reaches final value. So, how fast it reaches the final value. For example, if we take still more time constant, what would have happened is, instead of this exponential rise, probably the exponential rise would have become like this. If we still increase time constant, it will go like this. Therefore, in that case, time constant indicates that the system takes more time to reach the final value. So, more the time constant, more the system takes to reach the final value, or more time it takes for the system transients to completely die out. Next, let us discuss the impulse response of first order system. That is, let us subject the first order system to impulse input. So, impulse input we have already seen, mathematically speaking, r of s equal to 1, which we have already discussed when we discussed about the impulse signal. Therefore, your c of s will become equal to simply 1 by ts plus 1 by substituting r of s equal to 1 in this expression. Therefore, here again when we take the t outside and simplify, we will get c of t as 1 by t into e to the power minus t by t. So, here again you have exponential term. However, here it is exponential decay, because there is no 1 minus term like your step response. Therefore, there is an exponential decay of the response. but finally the response becomes 0. Therefore again output tracks the input with 0 steady state error, because impulse input, ideally speaking, at t equal to 0 it is 1, thereafter it is 0. So it is going to follow that. So when you substitute t equal to 0 in this expression, this will become e power minus 0 1, so 1 by t. So 1 by t is the initial value of the response. So steady state response is 0, which I already said. So therefore a type 1 first order system subject to unit impulse input also tracks the input with 0 steady state error. So initial value of the response is 1 by t. So here if the time constant is more, 1 by t will be less, because denominator is more. Therefore lesser the initial value of the response. So if the time constant is more, what happens is this impulse response takes more time to decay like this. If you have still more impulse response, it will take still more time to decay. However, this 1 by t magnitude would become less. This would become less, but this would become more. So that's the problem when we increase the time constant of the system even in the impulse response. Next, ramp response of first order system. So same transfer function, first order system. So ramp means 1 by s square, unit ramp input. So if you substitute r of s as 1 by s square, then we will get c of s as like this. So if you do the partial fraction and then simplify by taking certain terms outside all that. So this 1 by s square inverse Laplace transformation is t. This minus t by s is minus t. This t by s plus 1 by t is minus t into e to the power minus t by t, because it is 1 by s plus a means inverse Laplace transformation is e power minus e t. So c of t finally becomes t minus capital T into 1 minus e to the power minus t by t. So here again minus t by t is your the exponential term. Here if we see the response, when we substitute t equal to 0, c of t is 0. So it starts from 0, but as time increases, what happens is the ramp response has slight deviation from the input. At steady state, there will be an error of capital T. There will be an error of capital T between the response and the input. This can be even seen when we substitute t is equal to infinity in this expression. So if we substitute t equal to infinity, this will be e power minus infinity is 0. So t minus t, which is infinity minus t, whereas r of t is simply t, which is infinity. So there is a deviation of this time constant capital T. So steady state error is time constant. So here also again time constant is useful to improve the speed of the response and reduce the steady state error, because if steady state error has to be less, this t has to be less, because t minus t is going to be the final response. If t is small, c of t is almost equal to r of t, therefore this deviation would become less. So if we try to decrease the time constant, it will improve the speed of the response, it will also reduce the steady state error. From these three responses, what we can understand is derivative of ramp response gives step response. That is, if we differentiate this, t becomes equal to 1, this minus t becomes 0, minus t into e to the power minus t by t when we differentiate, finally we will get 1 minus e to the power minus t by t, which is nothing but the step response. Step response when we differentiate, we get impulse response, because 1 minus e power minus t by t when we differentiate, we will get 1 by t into e power minus t by t, that we have seen as the impulse response. Similarly, ramp input, what is ramp input? Ramp input is t square. Ramp input is t, a into t. Therefore, if we differentiate a into t, or unit ramp means t, if we differentiate, then we will get simply 1, that is r of t equal to 1. What is r of t equal to 1? Step input. Step input when we differentiate, we will get r of t equal to 0. that is nothing but r of t equal to 0 when t greater than 0, which is impulse input. So inputs are derivatives of each other, responses are also derivatives of each other. So this is a very, very important property. This property is satisfied only by linear time invariant systems.